Top of the hour, SportsGrid college football today. Donnie Rightside and Joe Lisi. As Joe Lisi would say, big ball game, coach, on deck right here as we got it. And you know who that is. It's Michigan. It's OU, Joe. We got one. We got one.
It's a big one. And we talk about Michigan making a statement. Can they step up on the road and challenge John Mateer in Oklahoma? We talk about the dominance of Oklahoma at home. I told you, 40-6, Donnie, basically over the past 6 or 7 seasons. Last year, they were 5-2 at home, won those FBS games by an average margin of victory of 22 points per game. Over the last basically 8 or 9 seasons for Michigan, there are 641 winning percentage on the road or on a neutral field site. Last year, though, they struggled. 2-3 overall. They lost games like Illinois. You can't have that Illinois-Washington type of performances later tonight against John Mateer. And it's the experienced quarterback and experienced defense going up against a rookie and Bryce Underwood. They're going to have to pull out all the stops offensively, in my opinion, to potentially pull out the
By the way, coolness, right? Like, again, me and Joe are a little bit older, so we date back like to the 1980s. Like, Michigan was never the coolness factor. Like, yeah, Bo Schembechler, you know, like Lloyd Carr and, you know, all that stuff. But OU was cool, man, in the 80s. Like, Barry Switzer, Oklahoma. Yeah, Big 8 championship. Keith Jackson out there showing up in the Orange Bowl every single year. Brian Bosworth. I mean, they were electric, must-see football renegades, almost akin to the Miami Hurricanes. But now it's a little bit different now, Joe. I want to talk about this because the game itself, right? Favorite for Oklahoma. They're supposed to win this game. We'll see if they do that. But I just want to talk about, like, the switchover from we used to be the what? The big fish in a small pond, and now we go to the SEC. But the fans' expectations, Joe, they don't change. They want championships here. And Brent Venables, who's a really good football coach, cut his teeth there at Clemson, finally gets to take over a big-time program. He's like, man, I got to do it in the SEC now? Like, this game is huge for Oklahoma.
Well, it's huge, but big picture, when we look at the SEC, you say, does this game make or break Oklahoma's season potentially like it does Michigan? It's more beneficial for Michigan. Like, if Oklahoma, and let me tell you why. So Oklahoma gets this win. You say, great, they got a win over a top 20 opponent. Then you look at Oklahoma's schedule, Donnie. They have the Red River rivalry with Texas.
Tough one.
3 road games. South Carolina, Tennessee, Alabama. Okay?
That's an easy one. That could be an easy one.
But that's why they're, right, well, depending upon where Alabama is. But their win total was 6.5 this year. That's why. So even if they get this win, it's like, okay, they still have a gauntlet of a schedule to potentially go through. Now, it's a great gauge to see where you're at against a good defense. I do give the edge to Mateer. I think he's able to attack Michigan over the top with the passing attack. I think he has a big game on the ground as well. 30.5 is his rushing total. But for Michigan, if they're able to get this victory, you only have USC basically in Nebraska before that big game at the end of the year against Ohio State. This could catapult them potentially into a top 10 ranking.
You know, we talk about so many times, like, quarterbacks are going to lead you. Highly touted quarterbacks, highly paid quarterbacks are supposed to lead you. Let me ask you this question, Joe. Bryce Underwood, loved the fact that last week he was able to get a game under his belt before he goes out to Norman, Oklahoma and plays. You take a look at his prop bets this weekend, Joe. Passing prop, 189.5. His touchdown prop, Joe, a half of a touchdown at a minus 240 price. You don't bring him into Michigan with that price and that much, you know, hype to say, let's get that ground game going and see what we have. I need them to open this up. So I asked you this question in hour number 1. Like, Bryce Underwood, legitimately, what do we need to see from him today for a legitimate chance to beat Oklahoma?
I told you, 200 passing yards, and I think his rushing total is more important at 9.5. He needs to extend plays on third down because what do you think Brent Venables is going to do? Let's put the kid into 3rd and 8 situations, 3rd and 10, force him to read coverage, and let's see if we can get off the field.
Can he get one touchdown pass, Joe? Just one.
He can.
Come on.
He can. Now, I told you, look at these players. Marlon Klein, the tight end, 6 receptions, 93 yards, right? We talk about Loveland moving on. They're not going to have a tight end. He utilized a tight end. That shows progression. Now, it was New Mexico. Is that going to be there tonight? I believe Klein's number's 35.5 in that area. That's a cheap number for a tight end. Maybe he can get there. But Samaj Morgan, 4 receptions. All the wideouts got their opportunity. So, again, he went through the passing progressions. It's going to be more difficult tonight, but that's why I give the edge to Oklahoma. He can step up, Donnie. One passing touchdown should be doable, even in garbage time.
Here's also what I like. Like, there are some quarterbacks that we take a look at, and we'll continue the rest of the hour looking at. But Underwood going against an inferior opponent, Joe, still let him throw 31 times. Love to see that. Mateer, 37 times. And by the way, he had 392 yards and 3 touchdowns and also added 1 touchdown on the ground. So when you look at his prop bets today, Joe, 239.5 as his passing prop. His touchdown prop to throw, over 1.5 at a plus 112 price. I can't get enough where I know I have the pedigree. Mateer's a good quarterback. We're expecting great things out of Bryce Underwood. They each played last week, but we didn't have 6 passes for Bryce Underwood, get in and get out of that game. I think they're tested enough in this game where you look at that total. Like, we shouldn't have any deer in the headlight from either team. We know OU's got a good defense, Joe. Venables is a great defensive coordinator. We know Michigan's going to bring the heat on defense. Talk to me about that total and the expectations for why can't we get 25-plus points in the first half of this game?
You can. I just think when you look at some of the big games and why we're seeing the total go down. Let's look at, like, basically 2 big games at home last year for Oklahoma. The win against Milroe, dead under 24-3 last year, right, where they won it as a 14.5-point dog. And then the loss to Tennessee. Again, they didn't step up. Jackson Arnold. That was a dead under. So typically in big games, Venables has that defensive mindset. But he's got the quarterback advantage.
Yeah.
You know, you should have Mateer throw for 300. It's not going to be easy, but if he could push tempo in this matchup playing at home, Oklahoma should roll. I am not handcuffing John Mateer in this matchup or contest. I'm saying, John, throw it 40 times in this game. I don't care if you throw it 40 times in the first half. Give us an opportunity to build a double-digit lead. I'll worry about the defense. If we're talking quarterbacks, it should be John Mateer. And let's not forget, New Mexico last week, Donnie, threw for 200 yards on Michigan. And that was Dampierre is no longer there. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm just saying, like, Michigan's secondary was not elite last week.
Joe, Lisi, the analyst, kicking it up a notch here, Joe. You know what we love, too? We love talking about quarterbacks. Do we love passing touchdowns? You know I do. Do we love passing yards? Absolutely we do. But even more, quarterback rushing yards in this game, Joe. You don't have to go too far to take a look at some of these numbers. Mateer, 30.5. How about Bryce Underwood, 9.5? In close games, in big environments, in hostile environments. Sometimes, Joe, you got to use your legs here. Talking about Bryce Underwood, what do we expect?
9.5. I don't see, and maybe I'm wrong, could we alt him to 15 or 20 plus? Because I think
and then he takes a sack, you go back to 8 yards. Tough scene. Change that in college. Can you petition that for us, Joe? There's no reason for that to happen.
No, there's not. But again, it does affect. It affected a ton of performances last week. Kyron Drones with South Carolina had well over his total, got through it, but it hurt the alt perspective. You're not going to get an alt on Bryce Underwood on FanDuel or some of the other books. You got to shop around. But 9.5, again, if he's the real deal, and this is the kid that you lured away from LSU for $8, $9, $10 million in NIL money or booster money, he better show it on the field. He better put, the play behind the money today. And again, he did in week 1, but this is the game where you want to see him throw it. You want to see him get over 10.5 and maybe even hit pay dirt, account for multiple touchdowns. Otherwise, it's the same offense with Alex Orji last year.
By the way, if we are taking a look, Justice Haynes last week, Joe, again, inferior opponents, not the same as OU. We understand that, New Mexico. But if you look at 16 carries for 159 yards and 3 touchdowns, I look at his prop today, talking about Justice Haynes on the ground, 66.5 yards. I don't think there's any way Michigan wins this game, Joe, if he has under 50 yards. So I actually like Justice Haynes. He's going to get 15-plus carries. If they shut him down, good luck.
That's it. Yeah. That's it. Lights out. Again, I don't know if Michigan's going to run for 200 and one the way they did last week against New Mexico. But Justice Haynes, the former Alabama standout, 66.5. He should be able to get to 70, 80 yards in this contest. Again, that doesn't mean Oklahoma can't shut down the run. They could hold him to 100 yards, and Haynes gets 70 on the ground. So it's a good look. He should get some carries, especially early on, to take the pressure off of Underwood.
Receiving props are cheap, too. Klein, 35.5 yards. Connick, 36.5. Lewis, 53.5. The top dog is Deion Burks for Oklahoma at 56.5. We'll see how that plays out here. But, hey, yo, Rock! Who are we talking about next? Cy Hawk Trophy. Come on back.
Enter into the magical world of McLuck.com, where even the smallest of spins can win real cash prizes. Adventure into over 1,000 of the best Vegas-style slot games. So what are you waiting for? Unlock your free welcome offer today. Join the fun where winners play and players win.
Donnie, the season is 6 months, 5 if you check out in September. You're going to have a bad month. The Yankees had a horrible month. That is true. But beyond that, their regular season looks okay. They're going to win their 90 games or maybe a little bit more and get to the postseason. What is everybody freaking out about?
Everybody freaks out. It's a Yankee tax and a Yankee fan tax as well, where every single season you enter into the equation going like, it's championship or bust.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Remember these names: AZ Fudd, Olivia Miles, Lauren Betts. Depending on who wins that lottery, that's going to depend on who goes one. If Washington wins, it's Fudd. She's from the area. If Dallas wins, they're going to bring Fudd to play with, obviously, Paige. If Minnesota wins, I think they go Miles with the point. If Seattle wins, they go with Miles, and the same thing with Chicago.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
I was looking at it through my phone at first. I'm like, why is there such a delay? And why are we getting pitch hitters right away? Oh, the pitcher got thrown out for some reason. Maybe he hurt himself. But no, turning out and seeing a brawl was absolutely hilarious to let that one play out. Just the way it is sometimes in baseball. We don't get a lot of good fights and a lot of good brawls and anger, specifically from two teams that aren't going to the playoffs. So good on them for showing that moxie last time. But it's good to see a little bit of a brawl and a little bit of that passion here.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Did you know sportsbooks tend to draw up tighter bet lines for events that get even more bettors, like championship games or major matchups? My tip? Try betting on less popular sports. You might have a better shot at beating those odds. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
SportsGrid, college football today. Your boy DRS along with Joe Lisi getting that action-packed. We're not too far, Joe, away from kickoff. Like, how are the vibes? Like, we're going pretty soon, Joe. It's September, it's October, it's November, it's December, it's January, and away we go. Like, I love the start of the season, the freshness of getting some teams' first big matchups on this field.
Yeah, and
love
we talk about this rivalry game. We talk about the last 5 road games have been won by the road team in the series. That could lead to potentially Iowa being live today with Gronowski at the helm. Does he throw for 24 yards or 44? Maybe he gets to 100 today. We'll see. I mean, this total, 42.5, right?
Wow.
We've seen these total 33.5, 34.5, 37.5. Now we're in the 40s. But you have Rocco Beck. You have this offense balanced in Iowa State. They're rushing for $176 on the ground, throwing it for over 250 through the air. And Beck is playing clean, 68% completion percentage, 5 tutties, no interceptions. They're focused. Front 7 has gotten much better, Donnie, only giving up 96 rushing yards per game compared to last year where they allowed $188, only giving up 199 in the back end. To me, that's the difference. I believe Iowa State rolls. I know it's a rivalry. I'm always inclined to take the points, but I like Iowa State to roll here.
If we look at the line itself, Joe, right, we open up around that 2.5-point number, and now we're taking a look at 3.5, but there are some buybacks right now. DraftKings showing a -3, as well as Bet365 here in New Jersey showing a -3, so some money coming back. And again, the expectations for this game is it's supposed to be close, and also Iowa is going to play a game that's not hide and seek. It's basically like, let's just slow this game down. So I want to focus on that point of view, because if Iowa State can get the lead, we know, Joe, Iowa's not built for the comeback. Like, any more than 3 points, whoa, how are we going to score more than 3 points and come back in this game? Rocco Beck is a much better quarterback. I want them to be aggressive early. Don't play Iowa's game, Joe. Don't play it.
No, don't play it, but I will say last year they pulled it out in Iowa City coming from behind. They won that game 20-19. Iowa State has won 2 of the last 3, Donnie, so they sort of have Iowa's number. You're seeing the buyback because of the spread, right? 3.5 key number. I think a lot of people are taking Iowa in a rivalry game with the key number, and the fact that the road team has won 5 straight up, right? So when you see that, you're like, oh, yeah, how can you not take the 3.5? But let me ask you this.
Go.
You talk about last week with Gronowski only not opening it up.
Brutal.
It was an a group of 5 FCS type of
passes,
opponents.
Joe.
Iowa State's got 2 games under their belt.
Yes.
How important is that? See, I value that more, Donnie, than the Iowa coming maybe, holding back a little bit. The fact that Iowa State has played 2 games and has got all the ring rust out of their system, and I have the more experienced quarterback, and oh, by the way, now I'm at home, I think that's more And that's why you're seeing them open as a 3.5.
Let's go to the props here, Joe. Look at the quarterbacks. Rocco Beck, 230.5, respectable number. Mark Gronowski, 136.5.
Oh, come on, Don.
It's almost like your game plan is let's just run the clock and maybe win this 6-3. Which, if I just have a quarterback that I know can lead me back, like Iowa Joe gets up 10-3. Oh no, Rocco Beck can never. Rocco Beck has come back multiple times in his career from deficits to win games late. Now you take a look at Gronowski. If Iowa's down 10-3 at the half, it's like, just turn the channel at this point. Like, that's the way it feels for me. Talking about the quarterbacks is also the touchdown market. Gronowski, over 1 touchdown pass, minus 162. Beck, over 1.5 at a plus 114 price. If you had to back one of these quarterbacks with those statistics, who are you backing?
Beck at plus 114 for 2 touchdowns. Because, again, I want to push tempo. I have the more experienced guy. My offense is more balanced. We talk about 244 through the air, 176 on the ground. And I have the better, maybe, defense, right? You know, that was a huge measuring stick going up against Avery Johnson in Kansas State. We know that Gronowski's just a pocket passer. He's not going to utilize the RPO game. They rushed for 310 yards last week. But, again, it's between the tackles. How good is that Iowa offensive line? Are they good enough to get to 200 in this game? I'm not so sure, and that's why I like Iowa State. I would be on Rocco Beck over the 230.5, and I'd be on him for 2+ touchdowns at plus 114.
How about the rushing props, Joe, today? Because we love ourselves some of those quarterback rushing, and it's not high. Rocco Beck, 14.5. Take a look at Gronowski, 31.5. But some of the starting running backs out here, including Carson Hansen, Joe, 50.5 rushing yards. If we're focusing on 1 or 2 backs in this game, Joe, who are they?
I think I would take Xavier Williams. He's got a number today of 40.5. Xavier Williams, 11 carries, $122 and a touchdown. To me, he's the X factor. He has great vision. He's not just a north and south runner. He could get the edge as well. And that's what you want to see in that matchup. 11 carries, home run type of hitter, average 10 yards per carry. We're talking 40.5. To me, that's like, I would sell Gronowski's number, 31.5. He might get some in terms of scrambling opportunities. But sacks, as we know, I think Iowa State's going to be overactive today, getting his face.
How do you feel about these early games? 12 o'clock Eastern, but what, 11 o'clock where they're playing today with Iowa State? Like, how do you feel about that? Because sometimes
I don't mind
it's not superstition for me, but sometimes in baseball games, like, they're used to playing at night here. Like, that's an early start for this game.
Always play
rivalry, anger.
Typically,
the farmers,
it's like a later in the day.
What do they do, pick corner in the morning, then show up to the game and get wild out there? What do they do?
Ames is rocking. Ames
is it? Ever been to Ames?
Jack Trice Stadium.
Have you ever been to Iowa at all? I never even passed through Iowa.
No.
You?
No.
Would you like to go?
I heard it's nice.
You heard it's nice? Oh, interesting. How about this, though? I'm gonna
Good
give you
barbecue, supposedly.
How about pizza? How about pizza? Good
Suppose-
barbecue in Iowa. It's what they're known for,
That's
Joe. Absolutely.
No, corn.
What?
No, the corn. Nebraska.
Let me ask you this, though. Iowa did not score a touchdown today. Plus 650, Joe. Keep them out of the end zone? Come on.
What, shut out?
Shut them out.
No way.
No. 3 field goals, Joe. 9-6 final.
Nice.
They win the game outright, and you cash a nobody scored a touchdown
I would take
for Iowa.
42. I like the over 42.5 today.
Yeah.
I think we're trending to the over. We've seen it last year, 20-19. I think we get through the total.
How about neither team, Joe, to score a touchdown? 70-1 price. 9-6. Screaming at you.
Can't watch that game.
You
Bet
can
it-
watch this game as is. I'm just trying
Bet
to
it
liven
and
it up.
just walk
for you.
away.
Bet it, set it,
Bet
forget
it,
it here.
or if that's the bet you're making, you can't watch the game.
Now, you love quarterback sneaks. Rocco Beck, Mark Gronowski to score a touchdown today. Not both of them, just one each side. Gronowski plus 140, Rocco Beck plus 210. What are you doing there? Quarterback sneak?
I'm all in on Iowa State. I'm
Scramble mode?
not,
Like
I'm
he's
not
Jalen
taking
Hurts?
Iowa in any capacity. The only player I would take on Iowa would be Xavier Williams in the rushing attack. Again, he might score as well. Had a touchdown last week. But again, I can't back Iowa knowing how inept they are.
When Iowa gets to the goal line, is it?
And it's Gronowski.
No, but I'm saying like their normal running game. Is it just going to be singular like it's Xavier Williams?
No, it could be Terrell Washington.
See, that's the problem.
But
We're
he
looking at the
didn't
2-touchdown
last
market, like Washington Jr. 9-1
but a lot
price,
of they
16
like
to 1.
to utilize. They like to utilize. They had Caleb Johnson last year as well. I mean, Caden McNamara and the quarterback by committee did not pan out. But again, it's the offensive identity for Iowa. If you're back in Iowa, you want a lower scoring game. Again, the Iowa State offense is much more prolific and explosive.
42.5. It hurts me to say that. I think it's 10-3 at the break, and I don't think you get over in this game. I don't. But you know we're getting over on the next game. Head into the SEC, people. It's Kentucky. They're playing football. Can you believe it? Yeah, you can. We'll be right back with it. I was looking at through my phone at first. I'm like, why is there such a delay? And why are we getting pitch hitters right away? Oh, the pitcher got thrown out for some reason. Maybe he hurt himself. But no, turning out and seeing a brawl was absolutely hilarious to let that one play out. Just the way it is sometimes in baseball. We don't get a lot of good fights and a lot of good brawls and anger, specifically from two teams that aren't going to the playoffs. So good on them for showing that moxie last time. But it's good to see a little bit of a brawl and a little bit of that passion here.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
You're looking for JJ. You and I already discussed here. Addison's gone for a couple of games here. They don't really have a number 3. Thielen, fine. You do have a nice tight end here. The running game could be solid here. Like I said, I don't think he'll have the least productive season of his career. If the question was how it should have been with the injuries, I might have said yes, because then it would be 88, 1,407. So then I might have said yes.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
No better place to be than SportsGrid. College football today, right here on the SportsGrid Network. Joe, Lisi, Donnie, Rightside for the entire season, Joe, on Saturday. This is your place. This is your place to be, Joe.
I love it. I tell you. And it's flying. Show's flying. We're on an hour already. I can't wait. We're licking our chops for these Rat Pack games. And it's a great slate.
Look at you on the screen right
Look
now.
like a little rat.
SportsGrid's College Football Today.
The reason why I feel like Jared Goff doesn't really enter these MVP conversations. Jared Goff last year was on the team with the best record in football, threw for 4,700 yards, 37 touchdowns, and Tom was never in the race. He was never in the race because we know he's not that guy.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
SEC, SEC, SEC. Come on, they're up on deck right now. UK basketball school? No, it's a football school now taking on Ole Miss. If we line this game up once again, Joe, quickly, 8.5 point as a favorite for Ole Miss and a total of 50.5. Joe Lisi, Donnie Rightside, the SEC, the place to be. What do you got?
Could be an upset. I'm going to call it.
Outright?
Yeah, it wouldn't shock me if they get the victory. How good is Austin Simmons going to be on the road? They put up 63-plus points on Georgia State last week. He throws for 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. When we talk about the series perspective, last 4 games have been very close, have been decided by an average margin of victory of 2.5 points per game. I told you last year, Luke Vandegrift and Kentucky as a 16.5, 17 point underdog won the game outright 20-17 over Jackson Dart in the Grove in Oxford. So there's no guarantee that Ole Miss is going to walk in and just come away with the victory. This line opened up at 12.5, got as low as 8.5 across multiple books. We're seeing buyback now, 9.5 in New Jersey, right here on FanDuel. I'm going to take a shot. I just think this is one of these games, Donnie, where just say schools match up. It doesn't matter the talent per se. I understand Austin Simmons and Ole Miss are more explosive, but I believe in Mark Stoops. I believe in this Kentucky team at home in this spot. Give me the Wildcats.
How about that? Wildcats for Joe Lisi at this point round. Let me just ask you a quick question before we get off of this game, too. Zach Calzada's passing prop is 160.5. If he doesn't get that, there's no chance they win this game, right?
Well, again,
it's going to be dead in the water. We're just going to run it all day.
Well,
what are we doing?
You look at some of the big games that when they have success, Kentucky, they run the football and they sustain drives and they keep the opposing offense on the sidelines. Go back a couple of years ago with sweet baby Ray Davis. They abused Florida because he rushed for well over 200 yards in that game single-handedly and averaged basically like 11 yards per carry. Last week against Toledo, they run it for 220 on the ground. Calzada has 85 yards through the air. If they can run it, they're not going to get away from that. Yeah. So again, he doesn't need to get to 170.
Will Levis, Joe.
He'll only get to 170, Donnie, if Austin Simmons and Ole Miss jump up 14-0. Then the rushing attack is non-existent.
Come on, let's whip it around now. How about a little Sam Levitt action? Arizona State, super talented quarterback, passing prop 250.5, Joe. Rushing yards 41.5. Passing touchdowns over 1.5 at a -158 price. Sam Levitt today, Joe. Quick thoughts.
I like Sam Levitt
Let's
today,
go, Sammy.
Donnie. How about this? Over the 1.5 passing touchdowns. Yes. Now, Stark Vegas, very difficult place to play. Last year, they raced out to a 30-0 first half lead, Donnie. They held on 30-23.
Yeah.
So, a lot of people like Miss State today. This line opened up at 10. It's down to 6.5, and 6s across multiple books. Here's the thing. I believe in Arizona State. They held Northern Arizona last week to basically 89 yards on the ground. That front seven has 7 starters coming back. I think defense travels, and Miss State with Blake Shapen still wants to run the football with Jeff Lebby. I like Sam Levitt to have a big day, potentially one of the best teams in the Big 12.
SMU, Joe. How about this? Kevin Jennings, we take a look at last week, threw for 260 and 2 touchdown passes. This week, Joe, 268.5 is the total on his touchdown prop. Over under touchdown passes, 1.5, but heavily juiced.
Yeah, so think.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, so think about this. 268.5.
Yep.
He should blow through that. It's Baylor. Right? But what did Jackson Arnold do last week for Auburn?
Yeah.
He rushed 16 times, Donnie, for $138 on the ground and touchdowns. Jackson Arnold only had 108 yards on the ground.
Yeah.
Kevin Jennings, I believe, numbers in the area of 30, 40 yards today, 28, maybe 28.5. Last I looked, I got to get a number. He could blow through his rushing total today if they utilize some of the RPO game. I'm not so inclined to bet SMU and Jennings through the air. I like Baylor in the matchup.
Mm-hmm.
I am on Josh Cameron. 54.5 is his number. I think he could blow through that number today, 80+. I do like Baylor outright as a dog, plus 115, 120 in that area, catching the 2.5.
How about lofty expectations here for our guy Sawyer Robertson, Joe? 280.5 is his prop, and his touchdown passes to throw at 2.5. What are you getting plus money on that? Plus 144. Woo, Sawyer.
He throws for 400 plus against Auburn, Donnie. He's got to get over this number
I don't know.
today.
I don't know. That's lofty expectations.
Come on, SMU lost multiple
SMU's
starters.
known for their defense.
I know, and they're 15-1 straight up at home in Dallas.
Yeah.
But I like Baylor today.
By the way, there's only one guy you need today, Joe. He's a quarterback. He might as well be a running back. Flip that up on the screen for the boys out there. Byron Brown, plus 140 price, finds the end zone today. Come on now. The better quarterback, DJ Lagway or Byron Brown? It's Byron Brown. Come on.
He'll probably score.
Yeah.
What did he have? 43 yards on the ground, over to 170 passing.
Tell the people about your bets there, Joe. Look on the screen. Explain it. Kyron Jones, little VTech action.
It is late
around?
game. Now, here's the thing. There's bad weather in Virginia Tech. Total went from 47.5 to 44.5. I love the total over 44.5, and I love Kyron Jones to get 40 plus. 33.5 is his number today.
Yeah, I saw Georgia got their game moved up as well. So a little bit of rain on the East Coast here. Something to keep an eye on if you're looking for those totals, or certainly some of those props. The best of the rest next.
I was looking at through my phone at first. I'm like, why is there such a delay? And why are we getting pitch hitters right away? Oh, the pitcher got thrown out for some reason. Maybe he hurt himself. But no, turning out and seeing a brawl was absolutely hilarious to let that one play out. Just the way it is sometimes in baseball. We don't get a lot of good fights and a lot of good brawls and anger, specifically from two teams that aren't going to the playoffs. So good on them for showing that moxie last time. But it's good to see a little bit of a brawl and a little bit of that passion here.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
You're looking for JJ. You and I already discussed here. Addison's gone for a couple of games here. They thoroughly have a number 3, Thielen fine. You do have a nice tight end here. The running game could be solid here. Like I said, I don't think he'll have the least productive season of his career. If the question was how it should have been with the injuries, I might have said yes, because then it would be 88, 1,407. So then I might have said yes.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
No better place to be than SportsGrid. College football today, right here on the SportsGrid Network. Joe, Lisi, Donnie, Rightside for the entire season, Joe, on Saturday. This is your place. This is your place to be, Joe.
I love it. I tell you. And it's flying. Show's flying. We're on an hour already. I can't wait. We're licking our chops for these Rat Pack games. And it's a great slate.
Look at you on the screen right
Look
now.
like a little rat.
SportsGrid's College Football Today.
The reason why I feel like Jared Goff doesn't really enter these MVP conversations. Jared Goff last year was on the team with the best record in football, threw for 4,700 yards, 37 touchdowns, and Tom was never in the race. He was never in the race because we know he's not that guy.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
SportsGrid College Football today, right here on the SportsGrid Network. I'm Donnie Rightside. He's Joe Lisi. And the fun, it always begins 10 to 12 a.m. each and every week right here on the grid. We get you rolling because, Joe, we're a half hour away from kickoff.
Can't wait. Can't wait. 12 o'clock, best window of the day early on.
You like that window?
I like that window.
By the way, does Fox big kickoff today? What's the big kickoff? What's the big kickoff game?
I think they're at Iowa State.
They're trying to put people to sleep right off the bat. See that? Get your naps in early for Iowa State. We'll be ready for the big game tonight, which is Oklahoma and also Michigan. But how about the best of the rest, Joe? There's not just 3 or 4 football games played throughout the nation. We got tons of games, and we'll start here at Duke. Illinois versus Duke, Joe. Line opened up 3.5, bounced back to 2.5 here. Still a favorite for Illinois, but if we look at the Duke Blue Devils and Illinois, 47.5, 48.5, 49.5, depending where you're shopping at, Joe. Illinois, Duke, what do you got?
Well, I lean to Duke in this game. Now, we saw the 3.5. The spread is interesting. You got Big Ten, ACC, right? This is a team, a lot of people are high on Luka Altmaier and Illinois. He throws for 3 touchdowns, well over 300 yards last week. Granted, it was a dominating home win, but they faced Manny Diaz and Duke and Darian Mensah last week, Donnie. 389, 3 touchdowns. I understand they played Elon, but they're dealing, right? I like the over 49.5. I think people are going to say Illinois is just going to run the football, and granted, they had over 200 yards on the ground. I don't see it. I think both quarterbacks are going to eat. I lean to Duke to get the outright win.
Manny Diaz?
But give me the over 49.5 here.
Put the boys up here. Now, also, Joe and I just talked about, like, before we came into the commercial break, there is some rain, there is some forecast that you want to worry about. And the reason why we bring this up is South Florida and Florida is going to be a good game today.
4:15 kick, right?
Yeah, but South Florida and Florida today could be in a monsoon in Florida at times, Joe. You take a look at the numbers in this game. 52.5 got bet up to 56s and 57s. Like, I'm just looking at my forecast right now. At the kickoff, it looks like partly cloudy to start. Then the heavy rains move in around 5 to 6 o'clock, Joe. Something you need to.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, that's critical from the spread perspective. It's critical, too, for the quarterback perspective. Mobile quarterbacks and Byron Brown and DJ Lagway. And, if USF can make this a 4-quarter game, and depending upon what happens with LSU and La Tech later, that'll affect the line in Baton Rouge next week. So, it's critical for Florida to start fast in this game, potentially build a huge first-half lead, and then maybe coast in the second half. It's not going to be easy. Golish and the Bulls are very battle-tested. They're physical. Shut down a very good rushing attack last week in Boise State. Held them to 3.5 yards per carry, Donnie, and 100 yards on the dot. So not going to be easy tonight.
Yeah, both of those kids can really move it on the ground there. We're talking about Florida and USF. So usually in that raining environment, like, who can run they both can really get after it. We'll see what happens, which is why I love Brown to get a touchdown in that game. But I do have a DJ Lagway prop over 2.5 touchdown passes at a nice plus money number. Rain in the forecast, that might certainly hamper that unless you're going to get 3 touchdowns in the first half before that rain comes in. But also, we like to play weatherman on TV. You don't know. Hey, rain in the forecast. Oh, it's beautiful all game long. Or maybe the rain starts even in the first quarter, is out of there by halftime. Something, though, guys, certainly to keep an eye on, Joe. I know a game you're very interested in, 387, 388 on the rotation. A 7:30 kickoff tonight. That's Vanderbilt and Virginia Tech. This line opened up as around a -1.5 favorite. Still sitting, depending on which outlet you have, -1.5, -2s, -2.5, but also a total, Joe, very low. Open 47.5. We're seeing 44.5 now in the sports landscape.
Yeah, so there is rain in the forecast, but I'm still going contrarian in this game in Blacksburg. I do like Virginia Tech to win this game. It opened at 1.5. You're seeing 2.5. If there was one team that impressed me in a loss last week, it was Virginia Tech. They held Lenora Sellers basically in check from the rushing perspective, held South Carolina at 119 rushing yards in that contest. Kyron Drones moved the football not on the ground as much, through the air, 221 yards on South Carolina. Did throw 2 critical interceptions, but they're going up against Vandy. This game went into overtime last year. I think it was 34-27, Don. Blew right through the total. I think we have 2 mobile quarterbacks in Diego Pavia and Kyron Drones. I think we blow through the 44.5, but I'm on Kyron Drones over 33.5. I altered him for an anytime touchdown and over 40.5 today.
Joe talked about Stark Vegas already today, gentlemen, but we're actually going out to the real Las Vegas for this game. UCLA versus UNLV, 405, 406 on the rotation. An 8 o'clock start out in Vegas. Slight favorite to UCLA, Joe, at the opening number. 2s, 2.5s. We're now seeing 1.5, so a little bit of a backtracking here. UNLV and UCLA total, 55.5.
Don, they got abused last week by Dampier and Utah. And we talk about the overreaction from week 1 to week 2. I don't care if Nico is there playing or not. They have to run the football, UCLA. Deshaun Foster has to win this game. Here's the thing. I don't think whoever plays quarterback tonight throws it. Just run on that front seven of UNLV. They're giving up 5 yards per carry. This is a big public play. A lot of so-called sharps love UNLV.
Back them up.
When you get a spread with this type of overreaction in a week 2 matchup where you had a home team get abused as a 5.5-point dog, and now they go on the road. I like the road atmosphere. I just like the matchup, too, and I'm not sold on UNLV's front seven. Dan Mullen's a great offensive-minded head coach. He doesn't coach defense. That defense has taken a step back. I believe UCLA wins a high-scoring affair. They win it by double digits.
Be all that you can be, Joe. Army, Kansas State. A lot of people talking about Army this week. Is it possible pulling it upset? Come on now, stop it. Minus 16.5 now, up to minus 17.5, Joe, depending where you're shopping at. And how about this? A total of 47.5 in an Army game. Is Kansas State just too strong on the ground, or can Army Black Knights stick this one out?
Well, here's the thing, and I just want to get the actual number, Donnie, just so we know. They're giving up 116 rushing yards per game, K-State, right?
Yes.
Struggled against Iowa State. Struggled last week. They had to pull the game out 38-35.
Yeah.
And you had Army lose outright as a 7.5-point home favorite to Tarleton State.
Yep.
So you tell me, playing the triple option is very difficult, especially when you have no preparation. I just don't like the way Kansas State is playing right now. Forget the offense. Their defense is not good. You had an FCS opponent put up 35 points on your team, and now you're laying 17.5 at home. I love Army today. I think Army potentially could be live. That overreaction. I know that they're not the same team with Bailey.
Who'd they get beat by? Tarleton State last week, Army?
Yeah.
Come on.
30-27. They had an opportunity to win it in OT. The kid missed. Anytime you have to rely on an academy kicker, not basically a 30-yarder, he shanked it.
Oh man, so you can't trust the academy kickers? Were they the lowest of the low?
Basically, I mean, now put it this way. I'm just saying this: if a game is on the line,
give me the Navy kicker.
Oh,
the guy's going into battle in 2 weeks. He can't make an extra point. Come on.
From a mindset perspective, I'm not. Listen, we thank them for their service. I love them. Okay.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is, if you have a bet and you have an academy kicker with a field goal or an extra point, you got to hold your breath.
27 yards.
27 yards. The kid shanked it from like 30. It wasn't even close.
I mean, how much PT did that guy have to do after the game? My goodness, at that point. Joe, Kansas and Missouri. We'll talk about this one here. 6.5 set the opening numbers. Down to 5.5 at most outlets here as a favorite still towards the Missouri Tigers, but a total at 49.5. Kansas, Missouri.
I like the way Jalen Daniels is playing. This is an SEC Big 12 line. I know it's a rivalry, and typically Missouri pushes around Kansas for the most part, but I'll take the 6.5. I just believe in Daniels more than Bo Prabula in this type of atmosphere. I like Lance Leipold as an underdog going on the road. Not going to be easy, but again, you have two quarterbacks that are mobile. Chunk plays, even though Kansas's defense is playing well, and they haven't been challenged in back-to-back games, and they held E.J. Warner in check week 1. Give me the over, too. I like Kansas. I like Jalen Daniels to break out with maybe a couple of touchdowns on the ground, but give me the over in the game, Doc.
Over. How about Oklahoma State and Oregon, Joe? 28.5-point favorite here for Oregon and a total 55.5. What's up, Oklahoma State? We're just not competitive anymore, Joe?
Donnie, they did not win a Big 12 game last year. They thought they had their quarterback, Henry, last week. He breaks a bone in his foot. They're on Flores, the backup. Flores has 158.5 passing yards tonight. Whenever you ever looked at an Oklahoma State offense over the past 10 years and said 158, the mullet lost his luster. That's what happened. The mullet is done. Stick a fork in him. And on top of it, he's pumping up Dan Lanning. For whatever reason, they're going to get pasted today, Don.
Too much money Oregon has. Money wins in college football, Joe, is what he's telling you. You know what else wins? Watching us right here on SportsGrid's College Football Today. We will be back after this short break. More college football on the way now.
I was looking at it through my phone at first. I'm like, why is there such a delay? And why are we getting pitch hitters right away? Oh, the pitcher got thrown out for some reason. Maybe he hurt himself. But no, turning out and seeing a brawl was absolutely hilarious to let that one play out. Just the way it is sometimes in baseball. We don't get a lot of good fights and a lot of good brawls and anger, specifically from two teams that aren't going to the playoffs. So good on them for showing that moxie last time. But it's good to see a little bit of a brawl and a little bit of that passion here.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
You're looking for JJ. You and I already discussed here. Addison's gone for a couple of games here. They thoroughly have a number 3, Thielen fine. You do have a nice tight end here. The running game could be solid here. Like I said, I don't think he'll have the least productive season of his career. If the question was how it should have been with the injuries, I might have said yes, because then it would be 88, 1,407. So then I might have said yes.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
No better place to be than SportsGrid. College football today, right here on the SportsGrid Network. Joe, Lisi, Donnie, Rightside for the entire season, Joe, on Saturday. This is your place. This is your place to be, Joe.
I love it. I tell you. And it's flying. Show's flying. We're on an hour already. I can't wait. We're licking our chops for these Rat Pack games. And it's a great slate.
Look at you on the screen right now.
Look like a little rat.
SportsGrid's College Football Today.
The reason why I feel like Jared Goff doesn't really enter these MVP conversations. Jared Goff last year was on the team with the best record in football, threw for 4,700 yards, 37 touchdowns, and Tom was never in the race. He was never in the race because we know he's not that guy.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
SportsGrid, college football today. Donnie Rightside, as Joe Lisi likes to say, we're going to run it out here. By the way, what do you prefer? Running the football, Joe, throwing the ball? Like, what do you prefer? You're a head coach right now. What do you do?
Well, I mean, I'd want to throw it, but...
You don't want to establish the run right off the bat?
No.
Oh,
No. Sometimes you have to throw to open up the run. I have no problem throwing it, getting the lead, and then all of a sudden dominating in the run game. When the run game is good, and you have tackles out there pulling guards, it's great. Hat on a hat.
A little Joe Alt out there, pushing you around, control, Alt, delete. Yeah, it is what it is. But let's talk about that national championship futures market here, Joe, because you can't necessarily win a championship in September, but you could put yourself really behind the 8 ball with a couple losses, and out of the picture you go. Ohio State, monster win last week against Texas. They're a plus 550 price. The Georgia Bulldogs, 6-1. Penn State, plus 650. Texas 8-1, even after the loss. Like, no big deal, Texas. You basically got a moral victory, Joe, here with Texas.
It's crazy because I brought this up about Texas. It's not that they just lost to Ohio State.
Yeah.
Lost to Ohio State in back-to-back years, right? One in the semifinal playoff, and then coming right out of the gate with a new quarterback in Arch Manning that was supposed to be the savior of the program, right? Okay, no big deal. But they lost to Georgia both times they played them last year.
Yep.
They got smacked around 30-15 where they couldn't run the football, and Georgia just ran it down their throat, and that was Carson Beck throwing for $175 and 3 interceptions. Then on a backup with Gunnar Stockton, they still lost. So tell me how Texas is valued ahead of like LSU right now that's had a quality road win against Clemson. We're just hoping Texas bounces back. I mean, that's the problem that I have with backing them in the national championship market.
Take a look at, again, like Alabama, who looked horrendous against a team in Florida State that we probably didn't think would be all that great this year. Who knows what Florida State's going to have? They're 16-1, but here's my favorite one I'm going to ask you about. And I know why the odds are set up this way.
Let me hear it.
The Notre Dame Fighting Irish are 17-1 to win a national championship. They showed up in Miami, hard-fought game, but they did lose that one. So they say to myself, all right, maybe the quarterback comes around, maybe some things happen. But Miami, who beat Notre Dame, is 22-1 behind Notre Dame. You say to yourself, like, well, that doesn't make any sense. Understand this, and this is what sometimes I have a bone to pick in college football. You must be in a conference. College football can't allow Notre Dame to have the type of year they have and schedule they have, and honestly put them up against other teams. Because Notre Dame looks like they're going to be a decent football team. They could lose, I think, next week to Texas A&M, Joe. Right. I don't think it's a great football team, but still a ranked team. And then run the table and still be in the playoff and absolutely beat nobody. The worst schedule I've ever seen in college football is Notre Dame this year.
No, the worst?
Who are they playing?
Well,
Miami's good, and that's a tough one, I get.
Right.
A&M, you got them at home. Okay, that's okay.
They have to go to USC.
It's cream puff city.
They get USC. Yes, last year they played Army, Navy, right? Both on a neutral field. So they played Northern Illinois. They lost that game. So
they have Army and Navy again this year.
No, I don't.
They don't, because at least because I remember they used to hide behind there. Well, when times were tough, Army and Navy played us and kept us afloat, so we returned the favor. Stop the madness, man. Let them play somebody, Joe.
Well, yeah, I mean, they never used to fear anybody. And again, you get two top 25 opponents right out of the gate with Miami and Texas A&M. That makes or breaks the season. They lose to A&M, they're out of it, Donnie. You think they can still get in?
Yes. Yes. They're Notre Dame. They go 0-2, and then they go, hottest team in the country, 10 straight victories.
I mean,
gotta put them in. Of course it is.
And now I have to see the schedule.
Bring it up. You got the schedule.
Arkansas.
Rip it up. Let's go.
All right, so they have Arkansas.
Bums.
SEC opponent, though. They got Navy. They got Syracuse, Pittsburgh, Stanford, Boston College, NC State, USC. They got Boise.
Yeah, exactly. Like, hey, we scheduled Boise to go. Boise might have 4 losses by that game comes out. Joe. Enough with the madness at this point here. Let's say, you know what? Let's do this too. Like, look at the college football picture. And again, losses are going to happen, wins are going to happen. Nothing matters until we get to December where the game's like, okay, we're just outside the cut. We know we have to win. The 12 o'clock games today, Joe, because the bounce-back performances, I'm not even calling this a bounce-back. Penn State taking on Florida International. The reason I call it a bounce-back, James Franklin, I know he didn't like this. They had to cover last week.
Yeah,
Nevada scored late in that game. And I'm telling you right now, he probably didn't eat dinner. He was probably furious. So I look at this game against Florida International, 42.5. If this game is 45-0 in the fourth quarter, dude's calling timeouts and putting his starters back in. I mean, you want to talk about a runaway at noon, Joe? Could we get that today?
We talked about it last week. They are like 40 now, 5-4, straight up against non-conference opponents. Dating back, I believe, to 2015, 2016 at home, especially. So they have dominated. And the thing is, Drew Lawler's probably going to throw for 300, 3 1/4 right now. They're
That's
top
not my
5.
angle in this game, Joe. I got it. I love
Singleton and K.
Let me understand
Singleton
this.
and Katron Allen?
Go ahead and put that up on the screen, and we don't have to save it any longer.
What is it?
I'm telling you, Joe. Singleton and Allen each to get 1 touchdown today. I've never felt more confident in a wager in my life. You have a total in this game, guys, of 53 points. You have a point spread of 42.5. I don't even how about 2 touchdowns apiece? How about that over instead? There is no way in the world that they let one of those running backs score 3 times in this game. The other one doesn't score.
It's multiple.
They're hand in hand. These two are right now.
It's not a
one
bad
gets
bet.
One gets 1 touchdown. Come on, Joe. You got to get involved in this.
I'll get involved in that. -130. It's a 12 o'clock kick.
Right off the bat. By the time I get to my car at 12:05, I might have this cash. Both of them.
They're going to cover this game. You talk about them not living up to expectations in big games.
Yeah.
He's a bully when he gets these teams into
I saw he's going to get that cover last week, Joe. When I saw that late score pop up, I'm that's not going to go over well.
They scored with 40 seconds left, too. The kid threw an out pattern when the backup corner slipped. Can't have it.
Fell down. Embarrassing. Guy's probably going to lose his scholarship at this point. Other one, UConn Huskies, Joe, Syracuse at noon. I mean, come on now.
That's a 6.5
points. It's up to 7. We're 7.5 now.
More
buying in.
Well, they're buying in because they put up 26 points with Angeli against Tennessee. But I sort of like UConn with more in that type of situation. Again, emotional letdown. They got banged around by an SEC caliber team a little bit. Joey Aguilar had a huge day through the air. I think UConn can hang.
Let me squeeze one in for you because I know you love your Texas Tech Red Raiders out there. K-State's coming to town. Joe, 48.5.
They're going to smash them.
Yeah, Kent State should have lost last week, which probably meant they would have went winless throughout the season.
They're going to get smashed. 55+ I would lay
it. Is it still called Jones A&T?
Yeah.
AT&T Field?
Yeah.
You know it's where Boobie Miles tore his ACL in a preseason scrimmage game? Yeah.
Really?
Tough scene.
Boobie Miles.
Out there, man.
That's
back
it.
when they had the hard turf out there, back on the plains.
It was concrete. Back in the day.
Was concrete back. And I played on some concrete stuff as well. Other 12 o'clock games here, Joe. Liberty, Jacksonville State. Show some love to Liberty, Jacksonville State.
Come on.
Is Caden Salter still there? What's going on? Who's there?
Liberty,
still? Is Hugh Freeze still there? Who's still left in that building
absolutely not. What are you kidding? I would take the over, if anything. Jacksonville State did struggle a little bit from an offensive perspective. Rich Rod moving on to West Virginia, but they should beat up on
Let's put
Liberty.
A big, beautiful bow in this show, Joe. Coming up next year, the biggest bets, the biggest games, we got you covered. Come on back.
I was looking at it through my phone at first. I'm like, why is there such a delay? And why are we getting pitch hitters right away? Oh, the pitcher got thrown out for some reason. Maybe he hurt himself. But no, turning out and seeing a brawl was absolutely hilarious to let that one play out. Just the way it is sometimes in baseball. We don't get a lot of good fights and a lot of good brawls and anger, specifically from two teams that aren't going to the playoffs. So good on them for showing that moxie last time. But it's good to see a little bit of a brawl and a little bit of that passion here.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
You're looking for JJ. You and I already discussed here. Addison's gone for a couple of games here. They thoroughly have a number 3, Thielen fine. You do have a nice tight end here. The running game could be solid here. Like I said, I don't think he'll have the least productive season of his career. If the question was how it should have been with the injuries, I might have said yes, because then it would be 88, 1,407. So then I might have said yes.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
No better place to be than SportsGrid. College football today, right here on the SportsGrid Network. Joe, Lisi, Donnie, Rightside for the entire season, Joe, on Saturday. This is your place. This is your place to be, Joe.
I love it. I tell you. And it's flying. Show's flying. We're on an hour already. I can't wait. We're licking our chops for these Rat Pack games. And it's a great slate.
Look at you on the screen right now.
Look like a little rat.
SportsGrid's College Football Today.
The reason why I feel like Jared Goff doesn't really enter these MVP conversations. Jared Goff last year was on the team with the best record in football, threw for 4,700 yards, 37 touchdowns, and Tom was never in the race. He was never in the race because we know he's not that guy.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
You're in the locker room, people, right now. It's 5 minutes of kickoff. What are you doing, Joe? You putting on the face paint right now?
Yeah.
The helmet?
After saying a
getting
prayer.
the fits?
No, go say a quick prayer, put the face paint on. But back when we played, Donnie, the visor, remember the long towel? You can't do that.
Yeah, we're at the point where there's we no more half shirts. And again, shout out to the kids of college football today. We had to play in an era where you had to have your knee pads on your knees. I look at these kids today and figure, I could have ran so fast if I had these uniforms, Joe. Yeah. Shoulder pads up to here trying to catch passes and pants all the way down to your ankles, it felt like.
That's crazy, right? Uniform rules back in college. You got flagged 15 yards, right, with the knee pads.
You had to call him Mr. Official back in the day. I mean, you can get away. You try to raise your hand and be like, hey, touchdown, we got that. You're out of the game for weeks, pal.
The best college movie was The Program back in the day. Now, was that Florida State?
And now, where are they filming at, Joe? Do you know that?
South Carolina.
They did film
Williams
South
Bryce.
Carolina.
And I love the movie because they used all the colleges.
They did. Georgia Tech was legit.
Yeah.
All that
Michigan.
stuff. Yep. Everything
Iowa.
was legit. Everything was good to go. This is legit. Let's get to some of the games here on the kickoff show. We just talked about Florida International and Penn State, where it should be a runaway. And I love
in on that.
Both of the running backs. Anytime touchdown today is one of my best bets on the card. No, there's no doubt in my mind, Joe. In what world do I not get a touchdown either one of these guys? We're going to put 50 up today. No way.
I'm going to be in with you. We'll see how it plays out.
How about Cyhawks today, Joe? Iowa State. 3-point game, 42.5 as the number in this one, Joe. Give the people what they want.
I like Iowa State.
Rocco.
Better quarterback. Mm-hmm. I believe the better front seven and have 2 games under their belt. They're playing at home. I think Iowa State rolls today. Do we get through the 42.5? I think we do. I know the trends are in favor of Iowa. 5 straight road teams have covered in the series, but I don't care. I cannot buy in to Gronowski only throwing 44. Yeah, so if you're betting Iowa, you're betting that you're going to run the football, and you're hoping that 44 yards last week wasn't an aberration, that he's going to throw for 200 against Rocco Beck. Everything is a hope. Yeah. At least with Iowa State, I know I have the better quarterback. I have the better potential defense. I have a team that's hot. 2-0. I'm laying it. I think they win by 7 or more.
I'll be on the road in a couple minutes here, Joe, picking up a pizza, man. Have some good stuff on the way home. But the 2 games I love today, again, Penn State, I want to see both touchdowns come in. But how about this? Arch Manning. What would you pay attention to Texas? They're favored by 37 today. Over 2.5 touchdown passes for me in that game. Again, what world do we live in where Arch Manning throws a touchdown today, Joe? What world?
So if he throws for like 350 in a
And
touchdown.
one runs 3 of them in, but now we got him ready. Like, come on now, stop it, man.
Donnie, he should be able to put up numbers against San Jose State that struggled with Central Michigan last week, lost as an 11.5-point home favorite, lost outright 16-14. We'll see how it plays out. That's a 7 o'clock kick, I believe, a little bit later tonight.
Which
right?
one? Which game we're talking about?
Texas, right?
No, noon kickoff,
Noon
Joe.
kickoff.
That's what's up on the car. Throw.
That's it. Donnie
By the time we get home, cashing tickets here.
I'm loaded up in the 12 o'clock slate on Baylor.
I love it.
I'm on Baylor. I'm on Cam.
Cam Scatterboo?
No, Cam Scatterboo.
Come on.
Stop. Josh Cameron. Josh Cameron over his receiving total. Baylor plus the 2.5. I like that. And I love the 3:30 slate a little bit later. I love Kentucky and some of my guys. The 7:30 slate for me is all Vatek. Vatek over and Kyron.
Well, let's talk about the big game, though, 7:30, Joe. Michigan and Oklahoma. Let's leave them with that.
Yeah.
Like the expectations for this game, a 5.5-point spread, obviously for Oklahoma, and a total that's listed at 43.5. Boy, it's going to be ugly. If it's 21-17, man, I don't know. It's got to go over. There's too much talent, Joe, for that not to
should
go over.
But again,
Jerome Moore running it
home team,
100 times? What are we doing?
Home team, more experienced quarterback.
Look at the tears.
I would say I like Oklahoma in
30
the
and a half,
matchup.
Joe.
But I mean, 44.5, Donnie, to your point, is very doable, and they should blow through this total. If you're Michigan, you can ill afford to play scared, right? If Bryce Underwood is really the guy, you have to open it up, allow him to throw the football. 251 yards last week. He threw it to a number of different wide receivers and got the tight end Klein involved. That could be the X factor today. Klein's number is 35.5. He could have 50-plus today.
Hit the seam right out of the break. And also, not a very good game per se, Alabama. But, Joe, give me the look there down at Bryant-Denny. 3 and out for Alabama to start that game.
Oh, man. I'll tell you what. If we could bet on a shutout in that game, again.
How about UL Monroe in the game at the break, Joe? Like 17-14.
What if they're winning? Yeah, forget it. Yeah, he might be fired after this week.
What a crazy thing. Like, you were supposed to be walking over Florida State last week. You got hammered, and now you have a show-me game against UL Monroe where you're usually coming home as conquering champions. Yeah, we handled Florida State. We're playing at home this week. They probably don't even want to be home.
Did you see the press conference? You said you had a great week of practice. I said that?
Yeah.
I said it.
When did I say that? Did I say that after that? Oh, my goodness, man. He's just trying to deflect all over the place because, used to be another guy down there with a Coke bottle. He used to stand up there and tell you the way it was. And that was Nick Saban at that point, ready to go. But that'll do it, Joe. Another week in the books for SportsGrid's College Football Today. The vibes are high. We kick off at noon. The big game of the day is at 7:30. Let's go, man.
A dog's barking. We'll
All right,
see.
come on, Harl. Give me a better dog bark.
Kentucky.
Kentucky the boys. That'll do it. Thanks, everybody, for watching the show SportsGrid's College Football Today. Next Saturday, we'll be back.
Alabama, Florida State, years Georgia opened with Clemson, and then Oregon and LSU and Les Miles opened with Oregon and smacked them around. Alabama knocked around USC and Wisconsin and Vatek for years. The SEC fears nobody.
Stop it. I love the SEC. Put them on. By the way, if you just had an only SEC college football playoff show, it would be absolutely wonderful. How about that out there, SEC backers?
SportsGrid's College Football Today.
So the Mets, they went through a rough stretch where they were terrible, but, they win the series versus the Mariners. They're kind of turning things around just a little bit. Like, the offense has been there. You said they were in a playoff race. It's tough to say, they need to win. It's like trying to trust teams in different sports at the end of the season. But the hitters are hitting right now. Lean into the Mets, lean into the Phillies. These teams have something to play for, and they're cooking right now.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
I think what you saw last year is it's tough to say, it's projectable, but I do think it's something that when you're taking shots here, you're looking for a bye-week coverage wide receiver on your roster or a guy that has upside who's young enough to grow into more of a role. I think the development of Bo Nix was stunningly good last year. If we can build on that again this year, I think Marvin Mims is a really good selection as the 57th wide receiver off the board.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
What does he do after he hits the home run? He walks over to the fan and he pats him on the back and gives him a high five. This is the same fan that's been going after him for the entire game. Dave Roberts after the game saying, hey, look, every once in a while, it's kind of funny to see Shohei, who's got this wonderful personality that we almost never see. It was great to see him do that with the fans.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.